There are moments in football that stop you. Not because of what happens, but because of the weight of what almost happened just before it. 8 minutes into Argentina's Group J clash against Austria at the Dallas Stadium, Lionel Messi stood on the penalty spot with the chance to become the greatest goal scorer in the history of the Men's FIFA World Cup. 17 goals, outright, clear, on his own. A record that had belonged to Miroslav Klose since 2014, that had felt for 12 years like a monument that might never be surpassed. And here, in the Texas heat, in front of a stadium that was painted blue and white from the first row to the last, the man who has spent his entire career redefining what is possible in football had his chance. He missed it. Wide, right. The Austrian goalkeeper, Alexander Schlager, read it, went the right way, but didn't even need to save it. The ball drifted past the post and into the crowd. The stadium went silent for a single breath, the kind of silence that happens when something genuinely unexpected cuts through the noise of an enormous crowd. And then, the Argentine fans started chanting again anyway, because they have seen enough of this man to know that a miss is never the last word he writes on a match. This was Argentina versus Austria at the 2026 FIFA World Cup, Group J, Match Day 2, a result that Argentina needed to secure their place in the round of 32 and that Austria desperately needed to avoid losing to stay alive in the group. A match that delivered history, controversy, genuine quality, and the kind of sustained tension that a 90-minute football match at a World Cup is supposed to provide. Let's go through it properly. The penalty itself came from a VAR decision, and the VAR decision was the first of several moments in this match that left fans, particularly Austrian supporters, furious by the time the final whistle blew. Lautaro Martinez had been fed a pass by Messi into the Austrian penalty area, and as he shaped to shoot, Xaver Schlager and Stefan Posch both came across to challenge him. The referee, watching in real time, wasn't certain. He let play continue. Then the VAR team intervened. The referee went to the pitch-side monitor, reviewed the incident, and pointed to the spot. Austria's players surrounded the referee immediately. They were furious. The complaint was clear. Lautaro Martinez had gone down easily, they argued, and the contact from both Schlager and Posch, while present, was not the kind of forceful, unambiguous challenge that the laws of the game require for a penalty to be given. The Austrian bench was on its feet. Ralf Rangnick, who rarely loses his composure publicly, was animated on the touchline. From multiple angles, the incident is genuinely debatable. There is contact. Schlager's studs do catch the back of Martinez's ankle as he goes to ground. But there is also a moment where Martinez's body movement anticipates the contact, where he goes down before the full weight of the challenge arrives. A penalty in some games, a booking for simulation in others. In the world of VAR at this World Cup, it was a penalty. And then Messi missed it. And for a quarter of an hour after that, Austria were the better team. That sounds counterintuitive at a match where Argentina were supposedly dominant, but it is what the statistics and eyewitness accounts confirm. Austria settled. They passed cleanly. Sabitzer and Seiwald controlled the middle of the pitch. Kevin Danso, the Tottenham Hotspur center-back who made a last-minute decision to declare for Austria rather than Ghana, made 2 interventions in consecutive minutes that denied Nico Gonzalez and Thiago Almada clear scoring opportunities. He was immense. A player who had come into this match with question marks around him given that he was not in the original starting lineup Rangnick named before the tournament, and who answered every question being asked of him with composure and intelligence. For 20 minutes after the penalty miss, this match was genuinely balanced. The Argentine had the possession, but not the penetration. The blue and white sea in the stands was still singing, still bouncing, but there was an edge to the noise that wasn't there before kickoff, the kind of edge that comes from realizing that history has been offered and deferred, and that the great man would need to find another way. He found another way in the 36th minute.
And it was so distinctly, so completely Lionel Messi that it felt almost scripted. Facundo Medina played a pass from deep. Thiago Almada took it, paused deliberately, and let the ball run across his body, not because he missed it, but because he saw Messi arriving behind him, and he understood exactly what Messi was about to do. The pass was allowed to pass. Messi took it on his left foot, one touch, inside Schlager's near post, off the inside of the right post, in. 17 World Cup goals, outright the record. Miroslav Klose's 12-year reign at the top of the men's World Cup scoring chart, over. The Dallas stadium erupted. Messi jogged toward the corner flag with his arms wide, the way he always celebrates, a gesture somewhere between acknowledgement and disbelief that the moment has actually arrived. His teammates engulfed him. The Argentina fans, already in full voice, found another register entirely. This was the moment this tournament had been building toward since Argentina's opening match. Against Algeria, in their Group J opener 4 days ago, Messi had scored a hat trick, 3 goals that tied Klose's record of 16 and sent the footballing world into a frenzy of anticipation for exactly this moment. And now it had arrived. But the match wasn't over, and Austria, to their enormous credit, did not accept that it was. The second half was more complicated than a 1-0 scoreline against a group stage opponent might suggest. Rangnick brought on Marko Arnautovic, the experienced forward who has spent this tournament on the bench, but whose presence on the pitch immediately changed Austria's attacking shape. They went to long balls, direct, purposeful, looking for the flick-ons and second ball situations that Arnautovic has made a career out of finding at club level. And there were moments. Sabitzer, who had been excellent throughout, hit a free kick from the edge of the area that Emiliano Martinez needed to push away. Gonzalez had a chance from a corner that he headed fractionally wide. For 20 minutes of the second half, if you were watching neutrally, you would have described this as a contest. Austria also had what they felt was a strong claim for a second penalty of their own when Enzo Fernandez appeared to catch a hand in the face during a challenge. The referee, having already gone to the monitor once in this match, waved play on. Austria's players appealed. He waved on. And on the touchline, Rangnick made his feelings about the consistency of the officiating very clear indeed. That is the second layer of controversy in this match, and it deserves direct treatment rather than dismissal. The penalty awarded to Argentina in the 9th minute was, as stated, genuinely debatable. Contact present, severity uncertain, result, penalty given via VAR. The foul on Fernandez in the second half, also involving contact, also uncertain in terms of severity, resulted in no action. Whether those two decisions are consistent is a question that the VAR analysts and the referees' assessors will be examining in the days to come. From Austria's perspective, watching both incidents in real time, the feeling that the interpretations had not been applied equally was powerful and visible.
That feeling does not make the Austrian case legally correct. The referees' assessors and the officiating framework at this tournament will make their determinations through proper channels. But the emotional reality of two similar incidents being adjudicated differently, one via VAR review producing a penalty, one waved away without a review, is the kind of moment that defines how a losing team talks about a match for years. And then, 4 minutes into injury time at the end of the match, Messi added his second. A give and go with Almada, an intelligent run into the right channel, a first-time finish that went in at the near post. Goal number 18 at the Men's FIFA World Cup. 2 ahead of Klose now, a margin that suggests this record, unlike the previous one, may not be approached again for a very long time. The final score was 2-0. Argentina advanced to the round of 32 with 6 points from 2 matches. Austria remain alive in Group J, but now need a result from their final group game. And the football world spends the next 24 hours absorbing the statistics that have emerged from this one match. Messi has scored in 6 consecutive World Cup matches, a streak that puts him alongside Just Fontaine of France, who achieved it at the 1958 tournament in Sweden, and Jairzinho of Brazil, who achieved it at the 1970 tournament in Mexico. These are names that most people with a serious knowledge of football history know.
The company Messi is keeping at the age of 38 is extraordinary. There is no other word for it. He also now has 5 goals from 2 matches at this 2026 tournament, in his 6th World Cup, at an age when most players have been retired for several years. Earlier this tournament, the conversation before Argentina's opening match centered on whether Messi would have a reduced role, whether Scaloni would manage his minutes carefully, protect his body, use him in bursts rather than for full 90-minute performances. He was substituted off before the full-time whistle tonight, which suggests some of that caution remains, but the role he has played in both matches, creating, running, scoring, dictating, has been nowhere close to reduced. What Austria gave him was a test, not an easy group stage walkover. Danso and his defensive partners held Argentina to 1 goal for more than 50 minutes. Sabitzer and Seiwald competed for every ball in the midfield. Arnautovic, even in limited time, gave Argentina's backline things to think about. This was not a capitulation. It was a disciplined, organized defensive performance that simply ran into a player who has been running into defensive performances and coming out the other side for 20 years. The VAR controversies are real. The Austrian frustration is legitimate, in the sense that football frustration is always legitimate when decisions go against you, and the gap between the calls feels unequal. Whether the officiating was technically correct across both incidents is a separate matter, one that requires frame-by-frame analysis rather than emotional reaction. But here is what is simply and undeniably true after 93 minutes at the Dallas Stadium on the 22nd of June. Lionel Messi is the all-time leading scorer in the history of the Men's FIFA World Cup. He achieved it by missing a penalty, absorbing 15 minutes of genuine pressure, finding his composure, and then scoring exactly the kind of goal that has made him what he is, a goal that required intelligence, timing, and execution under the kind of pressure that would buckle most players in the world. 18 goals, 6 tournaments, 38 years old. If you are watching football for the first time, this is what the best of it looks like. Leave us your thoughts in the comments. Were the VAR decisions fair? And what does Messi's record-breaking night mean to you watching this tournament? Tell us below. Subscribe if you want to follow this with us through the knockout stage, because the football is only getting better from here.